great to see you here today. I am so excited to be running the student panel this year. I am so excited for y'all to get to know our students here today. Something that's really, really important to me is making sure that people are heard, people are seen, and I guess today my goal is to just get to know these people. It was really hard to, I guess, gather these specific this specific group because there were so many good submissions when we sent out like the form to get people to come up here on stage and talk to y'all. But I'm really, really happy with our selection here, and like I said, just really excited for y'all to get to know these amazing personalities and people and their journey. I'm making sure I said everything cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so without further ado, here are our panelists. Come on up, y'all.
Woo!
We have Sophia, we have Keo, we have Juno, we have Val. I didn't forget anything, right? Right? We're good? Well, I'm here, but I was already introduced, so it's okay. Let's get started. Alrighty, so, oh, yes, introduction. So all I said was their names. Y'all take the time to introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are.
Hi, I'm Sophia. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm currently a student in Early Childhood Development. Currently getting my AST and hopefully transferring to Sacramento State in the fall.
Woo!
Hello, my name is Juno, pronouns are she, they. I'm a business administration with a concentration in finance and a minor in fashion major. I'm hoping to transfer to STAN next fall. I like to dance when I was a theater kid, so do what you will.
Hello.
This is the
Hi, my name is Keo, but you'll also hear people call me Kiara. I go by both. I am a dance major and a business administration major. I hope, in hopes of completing MJC, I hope to transfer to CSU Long Beach or other schools. I'm not denying any of them, but super excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Val. I'm an MGC alum, and I go to CSU Stanislaus as a psychology major. My pronouns are she, they, he.
Woo!
Turn off the mic. Real quick, before we get started with interviewing, like actually interviewing our panelists, we were supposed to have 5 people up here, and I just want to double check. Is Wendell Thomas Sanders here, or Sanders Thomas here? Wendell? No? Okay. They're with us in spirit. Hopefully, they're okay. I hope they're okay. So, first question. Where am I? Okay, so Sophia, I spoke to you a little bit about growing up queer, and I am curious, is there something that you wish someone had told you, like early on in your journey of being queer, your queer journey? Let us know.
I grew up in a very Mexican Catholic household, so it was very shunned upon being anything but straight. If you grew up in a Catholic household, you would know, or a Mexican household, or any of that sort. It was always questions, or do you have any boyfriends? Do you like any boys? Is there any boys you like? It wasn't broad, it wasn't, do you like anyone? Is there someone you like? So I felt like I had to hide my whole life. I feel like early on, if someone in my family told me that it was okay to be who I am, I would have came out a lot earlier. But yeah, that's all.
So I feel like I've been queer my whole life, but I definitely wish someone told me how big the community is. I grew up in the country and I went to like a K through 8, so it's definitely just a smaller school, and I was like one of like the 3 career students for my elementary school or middle school. And I just wish that like that there will be people when you grow up, you will find these communities. It might not happen soon, it might take longer than we expect. But I feel like if I heard that, I would have like been more true to myself as I was growing and not try to like hide that from myself.
I will say for me, I also grew up in a Mexican Catholic household, but the difference being I did not go to public school. I was homeschooled since like a very young age. So I didn't really have a lot of like in-person interactions with a lot of people. It was mostly just like things I heard on the internet, which is vast, but it's also like a lot of information. So there's nothing that I could do to like go back and be like, we should check this out when I was just a kid exploring on the internet. However, I wish that there was an opportunity for me, especially as like a closeted kid living in a very religious household, to be able to express myself without feeling the need to hide. Because I remember like small little things of like being scared of cutting my hair short because I was afraid that it would make me look masculine, or wearing pants instead of a skirt. And I just wish that there was someone that would be like, hey, it's okay for you to express without the pressures of having to fit into a society that is mostly very either you're feminine or you're masculine.
I wish someone had told me early in my career that it's not at least to my peers with that was that it was very isolating because people are still finding themselves. However, it's always been finding camaraderie and community in the queer people around you is the center of queer joy, in my opinion, or at least one of them. So being able to grow up and just build this community around me and find this community around me, that is definitely something that I did not expect at a very young age, and I wish someone had told me that because it would definitely give me something to look forward to.
Absolutely. I think it's really, really important to remember like those little things that could change stuff when you're growing up. It might seem like absolutely nothing to the people around you, but obviously that's something that could have been like really, really neat and very eye-opening, you know, living our lives more comfortably. So thank y'all. Moving on to our second question. Juno, every time I see you, I die. More like I am living. To see your like absolute fit, like girl, you're always a fit. So is what I'm trying to say. So I'm curious as to, you know, is there a form of self-expression that you see as most meaningful to you?
So, okay. My appearance is definitely my biggest form of self-expression. Through the last years, the last year or so, I've really experimented in putting myself out there. But like putting myself out there with how I represent how I look. I used to not be that tall at all. I would just wear, not like, I don't know, I just wear pants and a hoodie every day of high school. And I don't know what clip, I think I got into sewing and I really saw like the expanse and how much you can do with an everyday look, just with the regular clothes you have to try something different. And I really think that your appearance can be whatever. You can choose anything. I buzzed my hair a year ago and it's grown out and it's just like, I was able to experience a whole journey of trying to express myself in different ways, which just made me love myself more. Just made me be more genuine to myself. And also, I feel like appearance isn't just clothes or isn't just physical. Appearance, I do believe, is also like your behaviors and your mannerisms. I've noticed a lot that like my mannerisms are different from maybe just normal cis guys. But I like that. I embrace that. I like that I'm different. I like that I act different and I look different from people. people. And I think that's just another unique thing of humans, that everyone can be their own person in any way, shape, or form.
I would say for me, going off of a little bit of what you said about like self-expression, not just being clothes. Like I love wearing like fashion items as well, but I'm a dancer. It's sweatpants all day for me. There's something I can do. But the way that I love to express myself is I love being ironically social. I love getting to know like different people, different students, different faculty, different professors. I'll always say hi every chance I get because I'm like, oh my God, I love you. But I do this because for years I always used to be this quiet, shy, timid little thing that hated speaking to people. I sounded stupid. So I don't give up on any opportunity anymore. Chance I get, I go for it, even if it's scary and it's overwhelming, because at the end of the day, I am trying, and that's the best thing that you can do as a college student is just try all day.
When it comes to self-expression, I definitely have to say that the form I resonate the most with is fashion. It's a form of control. You get to choose what you wear and how you style it and what you pair it with. And so it's also fashion. It gives hints to other people. It gives insights into who you are as a person if you choose to express yourself in a certain way. For instance, the carabiners have kind of become like a symbol in like lesbian and bisexual culture. So it's just like other people, like this is who I am, and I like doing that. I think it's a great way to connect with people and just find other people who are similar to me and who I relate to and have shared experiences with. So definitely fashion.
Well, mine is very different. Mine is the power of words. Not many people realize that words are beyond powerful and can be used in so many ways, especially in storytelling. For me, storytelling is very, very important when it comes to people in our community because we all more or less have the same experiences growing up. And sharing those stories gives people in our community a feeling of safe, of safety. And not only that, but just knowing that your words can probably change someone's day. If they're having a bad day, you can help them feel better.
I love hearing the different forms of self-expression. I love just what people are most comfortable in, whether it be clothes, whether it be with writing, whether it be, getting to know people is absolutely amazing, and it all connects us. I think it's really, really cool. Thank you. Keo, I remember speaking to you, one of the questions, or I guess that came up, a more difficult topic is threats being made. We referenced certain colleges in California where threats were being made and students were forced to go back online. And that might not seem like the most adequate solution to something like that, whether it be because we love intersectionality and some people don't, which is dumb. So I guess my question is, how would you want your school to respond to something as serious as this? Because everybody wants to say that they are doing the best that they can, but are people actually sorry, just the one question. How would you want your school to respond? I'm sorry.
And thank you, Sam. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely pushed Sam into that corner of just Sam, we have to talk about this. At the end of the day, we are LGBTQ people, or us here are allies. But we can talk about how the glitz and glamour of being queer is all day, but we have got to get to the nit and gritty But yeah, I really pushed you into the corner with that question. For me, coming to MJC was a very vulnerable time for me. I had like zero friends. I was so confused about everything. I think that just happens when you're a first college student. Just stepping into a space. And over the years, yes, I've built a community here, but it was definitely like trial, being able to recognize who are my support systems here within students, faculty, and professors, and who are the people that I don't feel like have good intentions for me. So with me reaching out through my resources and developing my community, I've definitely figured out like the differences between right and wrong and what you can do and what you should do. So I know, and I bring up the other colleges because those are the cases that I heard a lot from my friends, the friends that I met here that have transferred out to those schools and have unfortunately had to deal with those hate crimes, like being public on their campus. For specifically speaking, the incident that happened at San Jose State University with their threats on campus, and CSU Monterey Bay, where there was some anti-African American propaganda written on the walls. So with that being said, as for what I would hope that NJC would do is to, one, not ignore it. I feel as though when we do get uncomfortable with certain situations and tactics, our first thing is to be like, well, it's just something that someone did. It's just undermining like how severe it can get without addressing it because they think like, oh, it's a joke. It's not a joke to me. I come on campus, I meet people, and the idea of me not being safe in my community here terrifying to me. And so that would be number one. Please don't ignore
Ask
it.
Ray right over
Number two, I know for my friend, who's also a queer person going to San Jose State University, the first thing that their professors did was bring their classes online, which is good because then you don't have to like be on campus for the supposed days of the threats. But at the same time, it's not enough. Like, how would you feel if like
Hey, Ryan.
you being yourself is being threatened on campus, and the only
What size
support that your professor can provide you is we're just gonna have like
Right here.
I need more than just that. I need more than just like
Would you like a sticker? Anything? Okay, yeah. Take whatever you want.
and just an email that you can write to me to say that things are gonna be okay. I need a level of security, even if it's just a little bit that you can offer. I would hope that you would address things or to the best that you can, and that I would hope that you could list out the resources that NJC does have on campus. Like we do have a pride center, we do have a club. I've been in classes where professors will list the resources like on their syllabus, but they won't talk about it in class. It's actually funny. The first time that I had ever heard a professor talk about like the Parents Club in class was actually Professor Karlstrom. She's actually here right now. That's where I put it. For her class, she was talking about the Parents Club, and I was like, oh my God, you know what the Parents Club? It was so cool. But it was just like something. It was the first time that I heard someone bring up the Parents Club without it being already used in like a sense of, oh, if you want to find gay people, go here. It was a sense of, here are the resources that are on campus that I know of, and I'm sharing them to my students so that they know that there's like a sense of community, a sense of understanding here. So to answer your question, I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent, it's a very emotional tangent, but address, step one, address, not ignore. Two, issue any sort of safety that you can provide. I'm not saying that faculty automatically have to be the ones responsible for fixing the problem, but if you can provide any sort of aid or support to your students to know that they are not alone would be great. And 3, if you know other resources and can provide any resources that you know on campus, please list them out, not just on your syllabus, but in class, or even if your friend is talking about it, like, it's so hard to find a community and being gay here, and it's like, there's a center for gay people, right? That's not the official term, but like, there's a pride center. I'd love if there was more of that.
That was a very thoughtful and thorough answer. Thank you, Keo. I feel we should appreciate that. Round of applause for Keo.
Woo!
That was incredible. Anyway, yeah. So the way I'm a huge advocate for victim-centered justice. So especially in terms of doing and listening to what the victim or the people affected by these threats, what they feel would be justice for them. So it's actually listening to what they think would be best suitable for the circumstance and what they would want to get out of the situation. So definitely, and that can look in a lot of ways. It could look like through finding safety in community, like Theo was mentioning, through actually providing resources. So just anything that ensures that we are actually listening to people who are being directly affected by these threats.
I feel like for me, I would have faith in my faculty if, like what Keo said, they didn't ignore. They acknowledged it, they are taking every step that they can. But, sorry. But also having the faculty in our ward, still helping us feel safe with any resource like Keo said, and just showing that they are here for us and they are willing to fight for us and protect us.
So I definitely, all this is like, a lot of what I also think is falls along lines with Keo. Like first, like I would hope that they would send like any type of message out, immediately, like quickly to students. And along with that message, I would hope that they would have resources for not just what the like possible threat could have been, but like other resources that could just help people who might not have known that too. Because like I think I'm pretty thankful to have good teachers that have been very vocal about all the resources we have on campus, but I know a lot of teachers who, like you said, it's in the syllabus, or they said go to the MJC website, and MJC website can be kind of scary to look for if you don't know where to look for something. So I really feel just like being a active voice when these times happen, and especially like when it goes down to like the teachers being an active voice, not just the board, not just the staff, not just the higher ups who run all the departments. Like I would really like to see it go down to the professors, where the professors are aware that is happening, that was whichever threat is there. I think that would be really appreciated for a lot of students, having someone that possibly you look up to, because you might look up to your professor because you want to go in the same field as them. So I definitely feel that the professors showing empathy to the students and being an active voice and actively showing and telling you where you can get these resources is just essential.
That was very, very helpful. Thank you guys so much. I think this is a great reminder of how strong and important your voices as students are, how powerful you can be with just speaking up about something that you want to see change. I want to make sure that everybody knows this, the students that are here in our audience and the students, you will always have a voice. And if you ever feel like you can't have one or you don't have one, it's something that is common when I talk to people. It's like, oh yeah, support from my professor. I learned that I could change my name and pronouns through my anthropology teacher. Like, these are the the teachers are the people who interact with their students, and as much as some students might not know that these people are here, that these centers are here, so it's great to have the people who are actually interacting with students to put their foot forward and actually take the initiative and letting people know. So thank y'all so much for that. Moving on to a lighter note, we have had many fun, silly conversations about just being, and you just so happen to be weird. But is there an experience in your life that you look back on and think, yeah, that was pretty gay, you know, like, let us know.
Oh gosh. So the first one that comes to mind is when I was 6 years old, I wanted to write a poem for a girl that went to my church. Or maybe I was 7, I don't know. But either way, it's like, what poetry skills it's just, it stands out to me for sure, as like people should know.
And for me, what should have been like, hey, you might be into girls. I had a fat crush on my best friend like in 2nd grade. We held hands all the time. It wasn't anything. But also watching Victorious and Kim Possible and having a fat crush on Jade and Chico.
So I kind of felt for my whole life, but 2 things would be, I had a pixie cut for about half a decade. That was the only haircut I got. I still don't know how people don't know. And the second, I will only play with you. Since, as far as I know, because that is, that's not a man. That's someone better. But I was always playing Luigi, and I was like, oh, I want to be Rosalina. And it's like, yeah, how did I not know that I was a queer person, a trans person? There were signs.
For me, I definitely felt that. For me, because growing up in such a vast and yet closed off world, there were a lot of moments where it feels like I'm in my house and someone's knocking on my door to be like, open up, I'm here to tell you that you're queer. And I would not open that door. So it's just like, hello, I'm outside, open this door. There's been definitely moments like that. And I'm trying to think of one that is, I don't remember it, but I think the one that comes to my head was, I was 16, invited to my first official sleepover, and the girl, who would later be known to be anymore, but she invited me to her sleepover, and I remember in her room just chit-chatting with her, and for some reason I'm like, I can kiss you. It wasn't I was like, no, I'm going to kiss you. It was just a thought of you're cute. You like girls. And it was like a weird, oh my God, is this my moment to find out accurate? And then I didn't kiss her, we didn't do anything, but it was just a moment where we were talking, and I'm just like, you're cute.
Absolutely love it, y'all. I love hearing these stories because, yeah, along with the really hard questions sometimes, there's just silly moments in our lives. It's important to remember that, yes, some stuff can get very, very disheartening and very, very bleak, but it's this joy that we share with each other, these words, these stories that we have, that I think are really important, and I'm so glad that y'all are here to share that. Now, we're not done yet. Those were our panel questions for today. There are still audience questions that we're gonna get to. But I would like to give a round of applause for all of the work that you have put into being here today and to answering these questions. we're gonna move on to audience questions. So y'all submitted some questions when you registered for this event. Thank you so much. And we're gonna be using them right now. So one of the questions that we have, whoever would like to speak on this first, I want you to come out to your family. Just,
Hello, would you like
let us know.
I'll go first. I feel like what brought me to come out to my family was I had a secret girlfriend my sophomore year of high school. Introduced her to my family as my best friend. My family saw right through that. Thought I was being slick. They asked me about that, and then it kind of brought a conversation to light to where it was certain people in my family, I'm not gonna say who, saying don't label yourself, don't put yourself in a box, you're too young for this, you don't know. But I've known since I was in second grade. Until I was finally over it, of not being able to be myself and not being able to myself the way I want. I came out at 19 as fully gay, I came out as bisexual, pan, and then trying to sneak in that I was gay, but still giving my family approval, I guess, until I said, I'm done hiding who I am. And as soon as I came out, I got an undercut. I regret it now. And that's kind of what brought me to come out.
For me, I can say personally, I don't think, like, for some reason, I always felt in my head like, oh, I did definitely come out to my parents. But then looking back on it, it was just like, no, you didn't. You just outed yourself and then pretended everything was normal. Because
Probably over there, right over there, talking to the lady in the gray. Or over there.
thing looking back like now that I had to do as a child. But hearing all the stories of like gay people being kicked out of their homes and families, I told myself from like a very young age with this mentality. Even if I were to tell them that I was gay and they did not support, I don't need my family. Like, yes, that is hard, and yes, that a part of me might just fizzle out, but I can live without my family. It's just me working on myself and working to become a stronger person, but I can create my own community, I can create my own family. So even if my parents or God knows who did disapprove, I still know that I have the strength to go on. So being in a person, I had no idea what I was doing my first semester here. I was trying, you guys, I was trying. But joining Periods Club and then advocating for Pride Center, being the Pride Center. I remember I did this really sappy like Instagram post. I don't even remember what it was about. But it was just like, I'm proud to be a queer, Black, Afro-Latino person. And I posted that on my Instagram. And so my dad was like, hey, so this is new development. And I was like, oh shoot, that's right. I didn't officially tell you. So it was like that weird phone call with my dad, and I was just like, sorry,
All right,
Dad.
thank you.
And he was like, well, no, but you know, because my dad, it was that weird parent thing that parents do where it's like, no, it's your life, but I should have gotten like at least a text. But no, it's your life. But it's like, I didn't see any pride flags in the room when I came by the other day. Like, it's one of those like super awkward things, but I think looking on it now versus the mentality, the perspective that I had originally, where it's like, I can be okay if my family doesn't support, but I'm also okay with, like, I do have my day one lifers. Like the ones that are like, I'm here with you, bestie, like, don't worry, like, we'll get through this together. And I'm just like, maybe not together, because it's me being gay, but like, I get the support, I get where you're coming from.
Hello, Lars. So I recently have come out to some of my family. which I'm surprised because if anybody who's known me in high school, I've been queer. Like, I think anyone could tell when they looked at me to see, wait, I think my freshman year of high school, I had multiple people say I walked like a diva, and I didn't know what a diva was at the time.